Your home is your castle. Whether you need a pro or just great advice, your home with Alex Guthrie.
Guthrie, and welcome to the show. It's another beautiful day. We're getting our camera lined up here. Welcome to the show on Facebook Live. We're glad to have you. We're good. No, you're good. We're good. We're good. Thank you. It is another beautiful day in Big D, blue skies. I'm bringing in a guest right at the start of the show because we've got a full bank of shows today. So I want to introduce my first guest of the day, Jeremy Blackwell, and get you right up here on this mic. Say howdy and say hi to Mama.
Hi. Hello, Sarah.
Say hi, Sarah. Because I didn't get you very prepared. I just sat you in here and put you right on the microphone. And I don't know, have you ever been in a radio studio before?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, this is going to be fun then. Just relax. We're going to have a good time. I've got a few things to take care of, though. First, welcome to the show. And every day is a gift, and I sure appreciate you spending some of your time with me. And today we have got a full show. We are going to have Jeremy here first. And in the first hour, we're going to talk about pool repair and remodeling. I'm getting a lot of calls about that, of course, this time of year. And it's hard to find somebody that I can get on the show because they're just all too busy. I had to drag Jeremy away from his business to get him here. In the second hour, we're going to have Jon Sayah and Ben Parra. We're going to talk about LED lights. I know I've been talking about that quite a bit lately, but I finally have two guys that actually are kind of like inventors, and they do light fixtures, and they do they're in the industry, and they know their stuff. And we're going to talk about the sort of the direction that the industry's going, and lighting fixtures and all kinds of new stuff that's going on with LED lights. So it's really grown in the last few years. It's become mainstream. It's not a novelty like it used to be. So I thought it would be a really interesting segment to have, and we're going to discuss that. The phone lines are open. The number is 214-810-8255. Give us a call. We actually have a $25 gift card. It's a Home Depot gift card. It's a rechargeable card. So once you use that $25 up, you can take it back and you can add more money to it as much as you want, reuse it again. All you have to do is call and ask a question. It has to be about remodeling, and stump the contractor. See if you can ask a question that me or Jeremy can't answer, which is almost impossible to do. I already have a question right here on Facebook Live from Vito Jimenez. He says, I changed my lights to LED that are supposed to last a lifetime and never replaced the light bulb. Well, it's supposed to last a lifetime, Vito, so hopefully you don't have to call me to get a new one. Maybe your kids will. Give us a call, 214-810-8255. Ask a question online, and we will pick a name at the end of the show, and I will mail you that card. It's that simple, and it's a lot of fun. So don't be intimidated, 214-810-8255. If you're just listening on the radio and you want to watch the show, you can find us by searching on Facebook, Alex at alexguthrie.net, or Your Home Show with Alex, or Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Sorry, got to remember the name of my own show. But first, we have our green tip of the day, as we do every Saturday. And it's brought to you by Hargrave Foundation Repair, the original Hargrave, established in 1968. HargraveFoundation.com. Those are great guys. Give them a call if you're having some sort of foundation problem or you have questions about your even if you're doing a new home. Our green tip of the day: build a home with your smartphone. Well, not exactly, but you can find some useful resources in smartphone apps that can help you in the home planning and construction process. So here are a few apps for smartphones and some tablets that range in price from free to about $15. These apps can simplify some pretty arduous tasks along with planning and construction journey. It's nice having this powerful technology right at your fingertips. So I looked at some of these things and they're pretty awesome. I actually downloaded one this morning. And the first one is Taskboard. It's an iPad app. It's 99 cents. And Taskboard helps you manage lists. And you have lots of lists if you're building or remodeling a house. And it says Taskboard is an iPad app that can help you organize multiple lists in an easy to use and visual interface. It's not necessarily a home building app, but you'd be surprised how easy the process is when you are organized. Now, Jeremy and I have been doing this a long time, and we know all about disorganized on construction sites, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's probably one of the biggest challenges we have is when a construction project just it's kind of scattered. It isn't organized and things don't get done right.
Yep, that's a fact. So I got sticky notes on my steering wheel, dash, console, my phone.
Just don't put them on your windshield when you're driving. Mortgage Calculator by Quicken Loans. It's a free Apple and Android app. The app is great for helping a potential homeowner and even the agents and builders that are working with them do some of the important financial calculations that are part of buying a lot and building a home. 3, House Plans Volume 1. It's $4.99 for iPad and iPhone, and House Plans for iPad, it's $5.99 just for iPad. Even if you don't find your dream home plans in these apps, at the very least, you can peruse them. Their huge databases are stocked with house plans, and they'll get you some ideas and inspiration. Number 4, PadCAD, $14.99. That's pretty pricey. It better be good. It's for Apple and Android. Create your own blueprints. It's not a replacement for Architect for CAD, but PadCAD can help you visualize, create, and preserve some of your floor plan thoughts. Number 5 is Home Design 3D. I've used this one, but I used the free version. This is $6.99. It's for iPad and iPhone. Now that you've gotten some inspiration about your floor plan, use this device to create 3D renderings of your vision. I'll tell you, when I'm trying to create renderings of my vision, when I go 3D, I get really confused.
Yeah.
I never can draw anything that I have to see around the corner.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. You got to see with the mind's eye very well in order
I
to
can
get in
see.
the third dimension.
I only see straight ahead. I see straight. I'm like I'm just. I can see straight ahead just fine. But when I try and see around the corner, I'm in trouble. Okay. Home Design DIY Interior Floor Layout, Space Planning, and House Decorating 2 by Mark Call. That is actually the name of this thing. That's the name of let's make it nice and long. It's up to $4.99 for iPad and iPhone. It says, really, that's the name of this app. This is another app to help you plan and house interior design ideas. It's free on Apple and Android. Says this app is beautiful. You can find a wealth of decorating finishes, furniture, hardware, and other interior designs. Now, I'm a big fan of House. I like House. I'm on there all the time. I have an account on House. My clients use it. I use it. It's very user-friendly, and it helps a lot. So I highly recommend house for anybody that's going to build or remodel a house. ID Wood. It's $4.99, iPad and iPhone. ID Wood is one of the coolest apps on our list and helps users identify different types of woods from around the world. You know, that's interesting because in the last few years, and I've talked about this quite a bit recently, I've noticed, and we've all noticed, that we don't have the lumber yards like we used to have. We don't have old-timey lumber yards where you go in and you talk to a lumber salesman and you go, I've got this project and I need a certain kind of wood. Like you're going to build a deck and you need some certain type of wood, and he'll go, oh, you need mahogany or you need this or that. And no, people go to Home Depot or they go to Lowe's. They go to a big box store where you have a very limited selection. And you don't have a person in there that can help you out. And so this ID Wood app, I was intrigued by that because it can help you get the information about the particular kind of wood that you might need for a particular project that you might not get if you're going to a big box store. And when you have that information, you can then go find it. And it's not as easy anymore to find specific type woods. You have to go, there's fewer and fewer places to go get them, and boy, they're expensive.
That's right.
Now, and you do outdoor living areas, you do a lot of arbors and things like that, and you use probably a lot of cedar.
Yep, use a lot of WRC, rough cut cedar, western red cedar, Douglas fir sometimes, but yeah, cedar.
Do you use Douglas fir outside?
Yes, we use Douglas fir outside. We put a weatherproof sealer on it.
And it holds up okay.
It holds up very well.
Wow. The phone lines are open. Give us a call if you want to get this card. Phil Brown will answer the phone. He'll ask you some very personal questions because he has to make sure that you're not like some kind of person that's, after my personal information. You know how these people are around here. And he'll put you through. We'll put you on the air. You'll ask a question. I'll give you the answer, whether I know it or not. We'll put your name in the hat. And then we'll pick a name, and we'll send you that $25 card at the end of the show. I mean, I'll mail it to you, not at the end of the show, but I'll mail it to you tomorrow, Monday, whatever. Give us a call. 214-810-8255, or send me a question on Facebook Live. I'll read it on the air. Now, Vito wrote something, but he didn't ask a question. So, Vito, yours doesn't count. So, I wanted to introduce Jeremy already. And Jeremy does work. Jeremy and I have worked together for several years doing outdoor living areas, pools, things like that. And I asked him to come on the show because I've got a lot of, this time of year, of course, we're both doing a lot of outdoor type projects. And I have a lot of people that, boy, we look at a lot of pools that are really in bad shape. Because pools are just exposed to everything. They're like, they take a pounding. Even if they're not being used, they're taking a pounding because they've got all the weather elements hitting them and they're full of water. So whatever's in them is taking a pounding. And so there's always somebody calling, and they always need something done. They got cracks around it, or cracks in it, or tile falling off of it, or coping that needs to be, or equipment that needs to be repaired, or they have a dream about an arbor or something like that. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Jeremy and I are going to start talking about that. Pool repairs, arbors, cool stuff like that. Don't go away. You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. We'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors on 1160 AM. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat.
1160 AM KBDT proudly presents this historic salute to Grapevine, Texas. Brought to you by the Spice and Tea Exchange at 319 South Main Street. In mid-November of 1845, settlers from Missouri, the Archibald Leonard family, B.J. and Hiram Crowley, Ambrose Foster, and the family of Judge Jacob Moorhead settled near Lonesome Dove. 2 years later, the Lonesome Dove Baptist Church was established south of Judge Moorhead's place near Grapevine.
I'm Nancy McBrayer for the Spice and Tea Exchange. We started in Fort Worth and just really loved the Grapevine area. We wanted to capture the folks that were from Dallas that came to the stockyards that said, oh, this is so far for us. And Grapevine is such a beautiful area. We decided that that was a perfect place for our second location.
Grapevine, Texas, a world festival and event city. Find out more about Grapevine by going to www.grapevinetexas.gov.
I'm Nancy McBrayer for the Spice and Tea Exchange.
Step back in time. Visit historic Grapevine, Texas today.
Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls, doors that won't close, give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I'm here with my very good friend, Jeremy Blackwell, who asked me a minute ago, excuse me, why is it that when I'm sitting in front of a microphone, it makes me want to cough?
I don't sound like that, do I?
I sound just like a duck. No, you sound great. You sound good. Hey, the phone lines are open. We've got a giveaway. We've got a Home Depot card, $25. I seeded it with $25. That's a deal. It's a deal. You get paid to call and ask a question. Stump the contractor. You know, I'm inviting you. Stump the contractor. 214-810-8255. No one's ever been able to do it. No one has ever been able to stump the contractor, ever in history. 20 years I've been on radio. Not one time. Now, some of them have asked me questions that I've laughed so hard I had to run out of the studio. That's happened. And that was fun. So we're talking about pool decks. So you walk out, and one of the things I wanted to talk about, I actually have notes, is kind of how pool decks are constructed. Just briefly, I don't want to get too techie on it, but people need to understand that there's really kind of three components that when they go out and they see their pool deck and their pool. So they've got the shell of the pool that's holding the water.
That's right.
And they've got a pool deck that's kind of really built next to it.
That's correct.
Doesn't really tie into the shell.
Actually, it does.
Does it tie into the shell?
A long time ago, they didn't tie the pool decks into the shell, and they found out that they tend to separate. The deck will lift above the coping, which sits on top of the shell of the pool.
So then I was going to say the third part's coping.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the old days, so I'm talking about the old days then.
Mm-hmm.
So the new ones are tying in.
Yeah, for about the last 10, 15 years, I could say that we've started putting deck dowels every 24 inches on center. They'll be protruding out of the shell.
Dowel.
Yep.
And that's some sort of
be a 3/8 inch piece of rebar that's tied in with the belly of the pool, and it will be shot in the gunite, but it'll be protruding out, and you'll fold it over and tie your steel for the deck directly into those dowels that will be sticking up every 24 inches.
I see. So nowadays you are tying them in.
Tying them in, they will not be monolithically poured, so there naturally will be an expansion joint between the pool deck and the actual shell and coping of the pool. So they'll move a little bit, but you're not going to get the kind of movement that you see on some of these backyards where the deck is heaved an inch, inch and a half above the coping or below the coping.
So it's fixable.
It is very fixable.
It's kind of controllable where, because you and I have looked at them where there's, boy, they'll lift, either the deck will lift or the pool will lift.
Yep. And one usually goes without the other if they're not tied together. And the pool weighs thousands and thousands of pounds. It's full of water, shot out of gunite. A lot of building materials goes into the pool. And in comparison, the pool deck is not nearly as heavy. It's only about 4 inches thick of concrete. You're only getting the surface area.
So if you have a crack between so let's describe what the coping is. So the coping is the piece that goes kind of usually hangs over into the pool from the deck.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
It's kind of like a finished edging.
That's
correct. Kind of the edging that goes around the pool. Hangs over. You can, when you're sitting on the edge of the pool, hang your feet into the water, you're sitting on the coping.
That's correct. That's correct. It's simply there to cover what the gunite is, and the gunite's not very pretty, so you need a finished product to cover the top. And you can do stone coping, and also they have what's called a cantilever coping, where they'll pour the deck over the beam of the swimming pool, and you'll actually have concrete that will overhang the edge of the pool.
And so when particularly in the older pools, so if you buy a house and it's got an older pool, if there's a separation in the back of that coping where it comes up to the deck in particular, and there's been water getting down in between the deck and the coping, like there's an expansion joint there and you can see a gap and you see unevenness.
Yes, sir.
That can cause some problems, real major problems, if you don't address it and keep and sort of maintain that, where water can get under the shell of the pool.
So I explained that in a couple ways to my clients, and to those I'm trying to educate on the importance of keeping that elastic joint in there. That elastic joint, what it does is a self-leveling caulk called Deco Seal. Some people use MP1. And that joint, you don't want water to get between the shell of the pool and the deck, because same thing will happen to that pool that'll happen to you or me. If water gets behind there, it makes mud. And what happens when you or I stand in the mud? We sink. So the pool...
I actually can walk on water, but go right. You probably can't.
No, I can't. I think... But
we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about how I can walk on water and you can't. Actually, we're going to talk about how water gets in the wrong places around that deck and around that pool and causes these problems. And it's a lot of times real preventable if you just do the maintenance.
That's correct.
Keep up with it. See the problem, fix the problem. Call the right guy. We've got to hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back. You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Don't go away.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. Again, that's 800-871-3291.
With the introduction of digital TV, it's more important than ever to make the best decisions when disposing of your old electronics and your televisions, too. Television and electronic recycling is easy and good for the environment. So if you can't reuse your old TV, then recycle it. Simply drop off your television along with any other electronics at a convenient electronic recycling event. Every first, second, and third Saturday, an event is held in Plano. Find resources and information to learn green, live green, and save a little green, all at the click of a mouse. LiveGreenInPlano.com.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
Larson around the outside. Hamlin picks up a big push.
NASCAR's best motor into Michigan.
Chase Elliott underneath him for second. Joey Logano underneath him for third.
Driven to seize supremacy.
Kyle Larson, he's got that Chevrolet out front.
The Firekeepers Casino 400.
Chase, looking for his first career win, will not give up.
Sunday at noon on the Motor Racing Network.
Don't miss the Firekeepers 400 tomorrow at noon, only on 1160 AM KBDT.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Hey, phone lines are open. Some lucky caller will win a Home Depot card worth $25 if they ask the right question. Stump the contractor. 214-810-8255. Give me a call. I'm itching for a fight. But right now, it's time for the Community Corner, brought to you by Total Air and Heat. We're not comfortable until you are. TotalAir.com. The Dallas Builders Association is poised to start their 7th Operation Finally Home project. This one is in Irving, near the Senior Center in downtown. The Dallas Builders Association is doing great things for our community. Support your local builder. Now, we're back here with our friend Jeremy Blackwell. And we were talking about how water gets under there and it creates mud and it softens everything up. We're talking about the pool deck and around the pool. If you have a separation in the expansion joint around a pool, and I look at them all the time, and homeowners do not maintain them the way they should. For some reason, they're afraid to go out and just get somebody out there to put Deco Seal. And Deco Seal, let's tell everybody what Deco Seal is.
So Deco Seal is a product similar to MP1. It's a self-leveling caulk. And what that'll do is when you squirt it in the joint, it'll fill every pocket, every void, and create a watertight barrier.
It's like a rubberized membrane.
That's right.
And it comes in a big giant tube.
They have two different types.
It's probably something that you want somebody that knows how to work with it to put it in. It may not be something that you want to just take on yourself. I mean, you don't want to smear it, get it somewhere you don't want it.
Yeah, it's a very messy product. The type in the tubes that you're speaking of is harder to work with. The easier to work with would be the 2-part mix. Comes in a 1-gallon container, has a quart, the hardener. You mix it up, and it's very messy. It's just like chewing gum on a day like today, stepping in it. You get it everywhere.
So you want somebody with experience working with it.
Absolutely, and it's not that expensive to hire someone to do it.
But the thing is, it's a whole lot more expensive to have to come in and do major repairs around your pool because you didn't want to spend the money to put the stuff in.
So your average pool is about 100 perimeter feet, and that's how this stuff is charged going down. So you'd be looking at about $700 to have somebody come in, tear the old stuff out, put the new stuff in. But if you don't maintain that joint, your deck lifts or your pool sinks or your pool lifts, you get cracks in the pools, that $700 easily turns into $7,000.
And so now a lot of people don't understand that their pool can float.
Absolutely.
So let's explain to us how that happens.
Pool can lift for a couple of different reasons. If the ground becomes more buoyant than the shell of the pool, Noah had a whole bunch of animals on that ark and it still floated. So a swimming pool, no matter how much water you have in it, it can lift. But you also have soil that is expansive, and sometimes soil reacts differently. So I told you can sink in mud. There's also mud out there, soil out there that you can add water to, and it expands.
Well, we have a lot of that around here, don't we?
Expansive soil, yes, sir, in North Texas, a whole lot of it, especially out in the Louisville, Frisco, McKinney areas. The soils is very expansive in those directions. Colony as well.
But you can get water under a shell of a pool, and you have to be careful when you're working on a pool. If you take the water out of a pool to work on it, and a lot of times we'll go and just punch a hole in them.
Yep.
To allow all the water to come through it. If water, if it's going to rain or something, because you don't ever want that shell to come up.
Absolutely.
It's easier to patch it than once it's up, it's up.
That's right.
Right.
So in the main drain pots in the very deep end of the swimming pool, where you'll see these lids on top of these suction inlets, and if you take those off, there'd be a hydraulic line that goes directly to the soil below. You can unscrew that cap. That would create a relief point. Typically, I wouldn't say that that's enough, but if you're just going to have it drained for a day or two, then that's sufficient. But if you're going to have it drained any more than that, then you're going to have punch relief holes in the floor of the swimming pool.
But those are patchable.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're talking about first we're talking about the deck around the pool, the perimeter of the pool, and how important it is to maintain that. And then we see a lot of pools that have missing tile, because a lot of pools have tile on the inside, particularly up around the lip of the pool.
That's right.
Kind of a decorative thing, and of course they're soaking in water. And so naturally at some point it's, they're going to pop off. I mean, they could freeze, or I know they're not supposed to freeze, but if you have a really cold winter and the water drops down in the pool, I would imagine some ice could get behind those tiles. Maybe, I don't know. You may think maybe that doesn't happen, but regardless, they come off, they pop off. Do you have to empty the pool to fix those things?
Typically, yes, because whenever we go to, it depends on how much tile comes off, really. But if it's just a few tiles, you got to drop the water level below the tile line naturally to put the tile in, or your thin set mortar is just going to fall right out. But if you're going to do the whole pool, or I'd say anything more than 30% of the pool, then I would drain it completely, because you're going to make a mess in the pool. And the tiles are industry specific for a swimming pool, so they have a frost-proof coating on them. So you can't just go to Home Depot and buy any tile you want and put it in the water line, because like you said, the freezing will cause issues on the tile. But if you have grout joints falling out, then you create a spot where water can get behind the tile. And then if we have a freeze, then that's typically what blows the tiles off. As water gets behind the tile, it freezes like an ice tray and expands, and it'll pop those tiles
kind of
off.
Pops them off.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not crazy.
Nope.
So you say, Alex?
Well, I am not going to say
Alex,
you're not crazy.
you're not crazy, Alex.
Not in this matter.
Well, that's when you go, Alex, you got lucky.
Where's my $25?
Okay, you get the gift card. One of the things that we did a pool 2 or 3 years ago, you and I did, and we had to take some big coping off around it, and some of it fell into the pool while we were doing it. The pool wasn't empty, and it was there was a coating on the pool, the blue. I can't remember what it's called.
It's plaster.
There was a diamond.
Diamond bright
plaster. Yeah. And that's that's good stuff. I mean, that stuff held up. The reason I'm taking this here is because that coating held up to those big old heavy stones hitting it, because it's a really, really durable finish.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple different finishes you can put in a swimming pool. There'd be standard white, which is mostly Marbleite, which is ground up marble dust. And then when you start stepping up the scale of the plaster, you step up the price, but you also step up the durability. And they put more quartz in it. So a Diamond Bright is heavy on the quartz formula, and it creates a longer warranty and a very durable plaster. And the stronger the plaster you pick, the more the pool is protected from chemical abuse. And a lot of your do-it-yourselfers learn the hard way about chemistry. What to add, what not to add. Chemicals that go into a swimming pool are very abrasive and very corrosive, especially when you overdose the pool.
And you usually just find that out when you get in the water and open your eyes.
Yeah, usually it's by your eyes being grossly pink or red.
Or your skin starts peeling off, or in my case, my hair fell out.
In my case, I turned my wife's hair green.
That's what she called the pool chemical guy.
Yeah.
I almost lost track of where I was. That's hilarious. And so the Diamond Bright has different colors. That one of the things that has fascinated me about the pools in the last, I guess, 10, 15 years, maybe it's 20, I don't know, is the way people are coloring the bottom of the pools and the options that they have, and the way that you can, when you're remodeling a pool, because we get a lot of calls for remodeling pools, and you can go in and refinish that thing and do, some landscaping and totally kind of keep the shell and redo everything around it and on the shell, and come up with a really beautiful product.
The plaster industry is going places these days. They've got all kinds of new products. They got glow-in-the-dark beads. That's amazing to look at. So you go with a dark plaster with glow-in-the-dark beads, and it looks like a starlit sky. They also have this new product that's getting more popular even than Diamond Bright. I'm putting a lot more of it down. It's a mini pebble. Most people who know anything about plasters or pools have heard of Pebble Tech. Mm-hmm. And when you're swimming for a little while, your feet get soft, and that Pebble Tech just kind of rubs you raw, mm-hmm. especially your children who like to spend the entire day in the pool. But a mini pebble is less abrasive. It's still kind of abrasive, but it's less. And it's really gorgeous. It comes in all different colors, and you can put all different colored beads, all different kinds of rocks. I mean, it's up to your imagination what colors you want to get out of a pool these days. And they got jewelscapes, which are small pieces of glass, round glass, very smooth. They won't cut you or won't hurt you. And you can get those glass beads in any color, and that's very smooth.
And do those just shoot in with the gunite? I mean, is it something you just blend in with the gun, or do they have to be hand?
So the plaster
seeded?
The plaster will go over the gunite, but it will be mixed in with a quartz base, a quartz and Marbleite base, just like standard plaster. And what they do is they blend in the glass beads, the mini pebbles, or the Pebble Tech formula is all on its own, but it's an aggregate finish. Mm-hmm. And you can hand seed the glass beads in. A lot of people can't afford the formula for putting the glass beads in throughout the plaster.
Every time we add one of these ooh wow things, we're jumping up in price.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The product's very expensive to make, especially the glass beads. It's not easy to make a bunch of little perfectly round glass beads and color them. And
you're talking about a large area often.
Oh yeah. There's just, if your pool's 100 perimeter feet, you're looking at probably 800 square feet of plaster, maybe 1,000 square feet.
Wow. So how thick is the shell of a pool?
So the gunite shell typically at the beam is 12 inches. That's where the coping would be. And it goes down maybe a foot or two, and then it narrows to 8-inch walls, and then you have a 6-inch floor. And people pay sometimes for a thicker floor. I suggest if you're building a new swimming pool, you want to get a soils report and have an engineer look at it and determine what you can get away with. Sometimes an engineer will save you money. Sometimes he's going to cost you money. Mm-hmm. But in the long run,
he may save you money.
Thousands, tens of thousands.
You're just investing in the long run. So when you're digging out a hole, so you go in and you dig out a hole. You've got a big old whatever you guys use to dig a big hole out. And would you normally put this whole thing just on that virgin soil, or would you have a sand base under it? How does that normally work?
Well, for a while in the industry, they kind of thought that putting gravel down in the bottom of a pool and then shooting gunite on top of that was a good thing. But they found out that just really don't do much. The best thing you can do is you got to get a core done of the property, and you need to go through the dirt and see if you have any of, we discussed the soil that expands and then the soil that contracts. And you want to get a soils engineer to go do a report on that soil and find out what you have. And they'll determine if you need piers to hold the pool up, or if you need lime injections. And what lime will do is it'll stabilize the soil. It'll compact it so that water doesn't affect it very much whenever it does get wet. And, you know, these swimming pools, they're just like a cold Coca-Cola can sitting out there on a park bench. It's going to condensate on the outside of the can, whether you open the can or not. And the pool's going to do the same thing. It's going to condensate on the outside of the shell.
So you always have moisture in the soil around it.
It's constantly.
If it's an expansive soil, it's
over time.
Right.
Over time, you may not notice it this year.
So how cheap is a pool?
How cheap is a pool? Oh, I wouldn't say that they're very cheap, but I could say you can expect for a basic bare bone pool to spend about $35,000.
Wow.
And there's guys out there that can do it for less than that. But I'd say, you know, if you want a swimming pool and you want it to be maintenance friendly, easy to clean, good filters, good pumps, I'd budget around $35,000.
$35,000. So it's a super huge investment. And so you really want the best foundation around it, which is the shell of the pool is the foundation of the pool. Right.
That's right. So, and a lime injection costs you anywhere from $6,000 to $12,000, depending on what the engineer determines. So it's pretty good insurance. That's what I call the soils engineer. He's insurance on your swimming pool to keep it stable. So if you're going to spend $30,000-$40,000, get the soils checked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not? We're talking pools and pool decks. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about pool equipment. Man, that stuff's come a long way. Things are not the same. Actually, we looked at some not too long ago, Jeremy and I did, and I was kind of shocked when Jeremy told me what he could do with it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more of Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordor.com.
1160 AM KBDT proudly presents this historic salute to Grapevine, Texas. Brought to you by Grapevine Antique Market. In 1866, the Grapevine Masonic Lodge is organized. J.W. Dunn is the first worshipful master. In 1867, they decide to build a school. Pine lumber is hauled by ox teams over 150 miles from the mills in East Texas. School begins in September of 1869. Colonel W.P. Bishop is principal. The school remains open until 1886.
Hi, I'm Brandon Cantrell with Grapevine Antique Market. We sell vintage items, antiques, and a lot of current decorative items. Very cool. My husband lived here when I got married 33 years ago. It's a small town feeling, although it's not that small anymore. I've just gotten to know Grapevine, and I have lots of friends here, and I like it.
Grapevine, Texas, a world festival and event city. Find out more about Grapevine by going to www.grapevinetexas.gov. Step back in time. Visit historic Grapevine, Texas today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, like, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm logging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, like, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code USA.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I'm here with Jeremy Blackwell. Blackwell Bluewater. All your pools have blue water? Yes. Because I guess if you had green water, you don't want to call your pool company Blackwell Green Water.
Nope.
Nobody would be calling you.
Not at all.
No, that wouldn't be fun. You're kind of anti-pool.
I'm anti-green water.
Yeah. I had a pool once. I got rid of it. I didn't like the maintenance. I love the pool, but it was one of those above ground pools. So I pulled it out and turned it into a vegetable garden. It was a lot more fun. So pool equipment is really different than it used to be. And you can integrate so many other things into it. Give us an idea real quick what can be done with the new pool equipment.
So you got several different pieces of equipment that make a swimming pool operate, but you have a filter and a pump on every swimming pool that you can be sure of, and you have a light on the swimming pool, and those three things are pretty standard on a swimming pool. And you can add extra pumps for water features. You can add extra pumps for cleaning options. You can add extra lights. But the new controllers that they have out now, Jandy makes some really awesome stuff. And inside there, they have multiple relays, different auxiliaries, and you can turn your Malibu lights on through your pool controller. You can, or your deck lighting.
Yeah, right.
Lighting around your deck. You can turn on your radios. You can pretty much watch a mini electrical panel, and you can wire.
It's kind of like a whole control system for your outdoor living area.
That's right.
Because when you and I were talking about it, you could actually control from your cell phone.
So that's another option that they have. You'll put an antenna on your Jandy controller, and what that'll do is if you have a Wi-Fi at your house, then you can connect, and from your phone, so you and the wife are out, you're downtown, you just got there eating dinner and you wanted to get in the hot tub when you got home, one push of the button through your smart device, and you can have the spa coming on and heating, and by the time you get home, the water's warm. And sometimes, when you're at home and you decide to get in the hot tub, by the time the water's hot enough to get in, the mood's over with. You're pretty well tired.
Well, the mood, you mean it's bad time.
Yeah. The time is now, as they say. And if you can't turn the hot tub on and have instant gratification, your wife's asleep.
You've been married too long.
Yep.
And so it's literally kind of a smart system for your pool. But also the efficiency of the equipment it has really changed a lot.
So you got a bit coming up on LED lighting, and that's one thing that I really trying to push all my clients towards on their swimming pools is going to LED lighting. For one, it's very expensive for me to change out your bulb in your swimming pool. And if you go to LED lighting, you won't have to pay me to do that near as often. And the lights are not as hot. They run low voltage. They don't take very much power, and that's a very awesome feature. And it gives you a very clean water feel at night. The LED lighting just is not as repulsive, in my opinion, as a halogen style bulb. It's just a yellow light, and LED produces a very white, clean light. And then the pumps. You have variable frequency and variable speed pumps. And on these pumps, on the very lowest speed, you can turn over every gallon of water in your pool in about 10 hours and only draw as much power as, say, your lamp would require.
Wow.
And that's very incredible. So you want to filter every gallon of water every time your pump is on. You want the whole pool to pass through the filter. And in 10 hours, that's pretty reasonable and affordable on low speed. But you also want to kick it up on high speed because you want to turn the water over fastly, too, for maybe an hour or two. And when you run your pumps on high speed, they're drawing just about as much power as your electric dryer would draw.
And so this is all something that's all programmed in there.
So if you
don't have to do this manually, is my point.
If you have an automatic controller, so you need it basically like your computer, you need a central processing unit if you want it automated. And these kind of systems can cost you a couple of $1,000s to get in and get integrated. But if you have to do it manually, it's very easily done. The pump, on the very top of the pump, it'll say 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Really?
And if you want 1 speed, you push 1. If you want 2 speed, you push 2. And a lot of my clients just leave their pool in 2 speed all the time. Doesn't draw much energy, filters the water in the time that they have it designated to run.
So you set it on a timer, and you set the speed. Okay, so they're not having to run out there every day and hit the button.
No. There is a timer built in on the
like
smart
a
pumps.
sprinkler timer.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Or if you have a water heater, you've ever seen those Intermatic timers with the yellow dial, they'll have that set up on the wall, and it's just a very simple way of turning the pumps off and on once or twice a day.
Now, do you use these copper filters or whatever they were using for a while, where they used a copper?
So we don't tend to use too much copper. The chemicals we use are very abrasive, very corrosive. You get a lot of scaling. Typically those are reserved only for the heaters.
To explain what that is, that copper, whatever it was that they ran, took the electrolysis out of the water.
So right now they're doing that with magnets. They're putting magnets on the outside of the PVC. And
that's the end of our show
already.
End of our hour. Yeah, already. Tell people how to get hold of you.
Okay, Blackwell's Bluewater. You can like us on Facebook or view us on Facebook, Blackwell's Bluewater. We have a website, www.blackwellsbluewater.com, and our office line, 817-367-1700.
We'll be back at the other side of the hour. We're going to take 5.
Your home is your castle. Whether you need a pro or just great advice. Your home with Alex Guthrie.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. It's the top of the hour. So it's time for the Sideline Report. Brought to you by Windsor Door, where the pros go for garage doors. www.windsordoor.com. Go check out their website. These guys do like tons of garage doors all over the place. I found this news today, and it kind of reminded me of days gone by. Made me a little nervous, actually. New Democrat coalition calls for building millions more housing units. Filed in Capitol Hill codes and regulations. The New Democrat coalition, a group of moderate, and this is not intended to be Democrat, Republican. I'm not a political show. I don't care who puts it out there. A group of moderate House Democrats has released a white paper seeking to find a solution to chronic problems facing housing industry. The report, Missing Millions of Homes, says its goal is clear. We need to build millions more housing units. This came out of the NAHB website. I'll introduce my guest, Jon Sayah, and speak right up close. How are you?
I'm good. Excited
I
to
want
be
your
here.
opinion about this too. And Ben Parra, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
Let me get your mic turned on. Is it 2 or 3? You don't know. Okay. He's going to come in and do it. 4. Okay.
There you go.
There you are. There you are. Okay. Sorry, folks. We had to turn a mic on. The thing that bothered me about this is we just came through a housing crisis when the government got involved with telling us we needed to build millions more housing. They had great ideas about it. We need to get in charge of the building industry, building new houses. We got some great ideas for you guys. Let's do what we say. And look what happened. What are your thoughts?
Well, it scares me a little bit because we finally have kind of come out of it. Right?
Yeah.
And we've done it kind of on the back of these private contractors and these residential builders.
Who brought us out of it?
It was the private industry.
It was the private industry
Absolutely.
that brought us out of it.
Right. It
Not the government.
correct. There was no funding going towards that movement.
It kind of makes me kind of mad.
Sure.
It kind of makes me kind of mad because these guys are the people that got us in trouble.
Yeah.
And so just like they got a whole bunch of college kids in trouble, giving them easy money. So shut up and let us take care of our own problems. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know whether you're Say Light, but your Light's Fantastic. Do I introduce you as Say Light or Light's Fantastic or both?
You can do both. We're here today as Light's
both.
Fantastic.
As Light's Fantastic. Okay. And you're the founder?
My dad is the founder.
Your dad's the founder.
He started the business in 1964. So he started a little 2-man fluorescent assembler in downtown Dallas. He bought the business for $5,000 at a little place on McKinney Street, and he assembled fluorescent fixtures.
Is that right?
As that grew, he moved that out of McKinney Street and had an empty little building. He was building a house back in about '68. Wanted contemporary lighting, couldn't find any good contemporary lighting in Dallas. And so he took his building on McKinney and started a Lights Fantastic store that focused on contemporary lighting.
Wow.
And over the next 40 years, he grew Lights Fantastic. At one time, he had over 30 showrooms. He was one of the biggest in selling ceiling fans. He sold a lot of black lights. You may have known flicker bulbs that sold at Spencer Gifts.
Yeah.
He did that. So
now, did he invented those though? I
he
mean,
didn't invent them, but he popularized them
Okay.
and made them big sellers. So ceiling fans had sort of died out in the in the 70s. He brought it back and made it, what is now a building standard in most residential homes, especially in the bedrooms.
Mhm.
So he popularized it. He popularized a lot of different things. And, today we're here to talk about, some of the how we're popularizing LED lighting, which is really changing the landscape of lighting. And that's what we've stood for over the years at Lights Fantastic, is finding the latest and most current technology and bringing it to the market in a good way, in a cost-effective way, in an exciting way.
Well, of course, you and your wife, lovely wife, were so generous to let me come and tour your house that you just built, and you used all the different, gosh, I don't know how many different types of lights you have in there, but you kind of used it like a test kitchen for lights. Every room has a different, seems like every room has a different idea.
Right. We built about 4 years ago, we built a new lighting showroom called Lights Fantastic Pro out in Louisville, close to the new Nebraska Furniture. And it's sort of a state-of-the-art showroom to show the latest in LED lighting. And we've got a lot of customers have come through there, architects, designers, and builders. And one of the things we found is they were really clamoring to, how do we see this in a residential application? So when I decided to build a new home, decided that maybe it would be great if I could build it almost like a lighting showroom, but in a home, so people could see all this great new technology and how you can use it in a space. So what we've done in our house is we've taken all this great new LED lighting, which allows for more miniaturized lighting fixtures, allow for more color. Everything has been pretty white light over the years. We now think there's a play to add some color, some blues, some greens, some reds that change people's moods. If you've been on some of the latest airplanes now, they are having all colored LED. And when you walk onto the plane, they have a soft sort of purple color. As you go to the meal, it changes color to a different color. Instead of saying, we're going to turn off the lights now so you can go to sleep, they change the color to a softer, more subtle color, but still has some light in the space.
They're messing with our heads.
Yep, it is. And people are saying now you can create some great moods with LED lighting. So we tried a lot of
But
these
we
different
were
things.
doing this in the 60s and 70s. We just were doing it for a different reason.
Right.
But we enjoyed it then.
Right.
It worked. And these are the same people, it's the same people doing the same thing. They just found a better way.
Yeah, it's just a little bit easier now, right?
They improved the concept.
Right. So we are so my house, we took the house and tried to come up with as many new and exciting and different ideas as possible that you could do with lighting. Because now you can really do so many different things. You can really paint with lights and add security to your home, add safety, but add mood enhancements. We found that, people love to, have romantic dinners at home, and can the lighting help enhance that experience? They like to, paint, and can we help them do that? Watch TV and make it more of a cinematic experience.
Well, people my age, and not really probably any of us, grew up with basically one light in the center of the ceiling. Incandescent, 60 watt, or actually when I grew up it was a 120 watt. It was a big bright light bulb. And mom would come in and wake us up in the morning. She'd flip the switch and say, "Rise and shine," and you'd throw something at her, because it was awful. It was terrible. I hated ceiling lights. I still don't like them, but I love low light. And it really does affect your mental outlook. It affects your whole mood. The lighting does, just like sunlight affects your mood first thing in the morning.
Right.
It's truly amazing. Yeah. And so, do you have your customers come in the store? Now, you're in sales,
right?
So when your customers come in the store, do they understand that?
We try and convey that message to them to understand that lighting has changed, that it's different, that it's not the traditional 120 watt light bulb that mom used to come in and flick a light to wake you up.
Torture you.
That's right. You know, now in my daughter's room, her light turns on at 7 o'clock in the morning at 25%. And then 15 minutes later, it goes to 50%.
It's on
That's right. It's on a schedule. So now the light just gradually increases. And when she actually wakes up at about 7:30, it's now full. And she's, you know, she doesn't wake up to this bright light that's, you know.
So is her body's just kind of acclimated to this?
Right, yeah.
Really? That's really
so again,
interesting.
you know, just it's, you know, but to convey that message that we can do some really cool, unique things you weren't able to do before.
So it's almost like sunrise.
That's absolutely right.
And that's what's happening now. It's circadian rhythms. People are finding that they're not sleeping as well because of all this artificial lighting during the day. And now what they're finding with LED is we can mimic the natural lighting, the circadian rhythms, and people.
Caesar's Palace in L.A.
Exactly.
Sure.
Not L.A. Las Vegas.
Of course.
But that's exactly what they do, though.
There they want it to always seem like it's daylight, and so people are out gambling all the night, and it messes with.
But they mimic the day. I mean, when I was there, I'd never had any idea when I was walking through there. I felt like I was in a whole in a whole new world, you know. But it was the lighting that I was so fascinated by, how they mimic natural light in that place. And so you're talking about the same thing.
And we're trying to do that now. So instead of having all this artificial lighting, we are able to mimic the circadian rhythms. Like your iPhone and iPad now, they have a setting at night. You can change the color so that you don't get this bright light that makes it harder for you to fall asleep if you're reading on your iPad before bed. And so now we can do that similar to what Ben is doing for his daughter's room, where during the day the light will naturally follow the natural light pattern. And so by the time, 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night comes, it's starting to really warm up so that you begin to be able to fall asleep more naturally.
And are these like, for your daughter, is this like a light fixture type thing, or is this a system that you have? How does that work?
It's a light bulb.
Just a light bulb?
Just a light bulb.
Just a light bulb in the ceiling?
It's in her table lamps on either side of her bed.
Yeah, and there's both. There's
Right.
fixtures that have integrated LED lighting so that you can create that effect with the fixture in itself, or you can retrofit into existing fixtures a special LED light bulb that can do it.
So I'm fascinated by the whole beginning of the LED thing, because a light emitting diode, where did that start? In a TV set?
Really, the first LEDs were in alarm clocks, those red digital
alarm
clocks.
Yeah.
An LED was originally red. And there was a famous Japanese scientist, he actually won a Nobel Prize over it, invented the blue LED. And when he invented the blue LED, that's when it all changed. And that's when it allowed us to go towards white. And we could start to now have it be in a more comfortable setting that we could deal with. A red light, you couldn't imagine having a red light in your space.
Right.
But when they came out with blue, that's when it kind of became the game changer.
And so how long has it taken that to, when we decided to go away from incandescent, that started changing the whole landscape, because we first kind of went to the compact fluorescent. That was our first instinct. And then, we went right into LED. It seemed like it happened real quick. Maybe it was already headed that way. I don't know. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Jon Sayah and Ben Parra. Is that right? Parra. Oh, Parra. Like a par.
Yeah.
You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go away. We're talking LEDs. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat.
1160 AM KBDT proudly presents this historic salute to Grapevine, Texas. Brought to you by Underwood Boot Company, 530 South Main Street. 1854 saw Grapevine's first genuine civic controversy. The postal route was being established. The town needed an official name. Leonard was considered, named after A.F. Leonard, who served as the postmaster, justice of the peace, and the county representative in the 12th Texas legislature. When Judge Moorhead was asked, he said, Grapevine would be a good name for our town. And it still is.
I'm Anthony Underwood Boot Company. We got a lot of tourists, a lot of local business, a lot of foot traffic. Boots are custom. They're top notch. We make everything here. Jose, my bootmaker's been doing it over 50 years. We put out a very high quality product.
Grapevine, Texas, a world festival and event city. Find out more about Grapevine by going to www.grapevinetexas.gov.
With this salute to historic Grapevine, I'm Anthony Underwood Boot Company.
Step back in time. Visit historic Grapevine, Texas today.
Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls? Doors that won't close? Give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Welcome back to your home. Welcome back to your home with Alex Guthrie. Turn my headset down too low. I couldn't hear me. Didn't think I was talking. I hate that. This segment is brought to you by Windsor Garage Doors. Windsor Door, where the pros go for garage doors. www.windsordoor.com. So we're talking about LED lights and sort of how we went from incandescent, and that was sort of the government, I guess, just said, okay, no more incandescent. It was an energy EPA, I guess. Was it EPA?
Yeah, it was a push towards fluorescent.
Yeah.
And it was funny when we talked earlier about the government putting its hands where it shouldn't. It's a great example. The government kind of mandated that we need to make this change to fluorescent to become more efficient. And people.
So who do you think was the first one to invest in the fluorescent industry in China? Which congressman? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is not a political show.
There was a pushback. There was a big pushback from the public that they didn't like fluorescent light, that it wasn't natural, and they really didn't like it.
Well, they hadn't liked it for a long time because they were working at a desk every day with a fluorescent light buzzing over their head, ruining their eyesight. I don't blame them.
Right.
I didn't like it.
And so people thought, it was actually George W. Bush that enacted the law to start to get rid of the 60-watt incandescent light bulb. And everybody were saying we're going to buy zillions of them so we never
Right,
run out of
right.
them. We're going to hoard them. And at the time, LED was $60, $70, $80 for a similar light bulb. And so it wasn't really a viable option. Today, those LED lamps are back down into the $1 to $2 range.
Yeah.
And now nobody's talking about hoarding incandescent bulbs, or we wish the government hadn't done that. Right. And so, what changed was that LED originally, and you might hear the term RGB, red, green, blue, is how you made white light out of LED. And so it wasn't great. But the big transition that changed was they developed white LEDs. And like TV, the large TVs that started out at $20,000 and then
Right.
$10,000. Now you can buy them at Costco for, $250 or less. That's what's happened to LED lighting over the last few years. And that's what's really changed the dynamics of LED as the prices come down and the performance has gone up.
So who's in charge of the industry? I mean, is it overseas or is it us?
Well, I think
because just like TVs, when we were in charge, they were $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But when it became an overseas commodity, they became $250. I mean, let's face it, that's what happened.
And that's the same thing that's happened in lighting, is that, thousands of factories in China are now making LED, fixtures, making LED, the discrete LEDs. The prices come way down. And so now there's a lot of great choices. The U.S. still really is the key driver in the technology and developing the benefits of LED and what you can do with it. And China is really the ones that's manufacturing it and making it more popular at a price point.
Well, and of course, it's the U.S. consumer that drives the whole engine, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And then U.S. industry, because one of the things that has driven all of this that really started years and years ago, I don't know who, probably in the 90s, was the commercial energy store. That's really what started this whole discussion about energy efficiency in buildings.
Right. And that's what's happening today is that, with the 60-watt light bulb that we just talked about, in incandescent at 60 watts, in LED, it's only about 9 watts or 7 watts. So you're saving almost 80% of the energy, getting better light output, getting better color, not any of the issues that you had with incandescent in terms of heat. And now you do that all by saving 50 watts of light bulb.
So I showed you last time I was at your house, and I whipped out my phone and I showed you a picture of my kayak. And I have green LED strips on it to fish at night. And now you guys kind of giggle and go, "Oh, that's cute, Alex." But you can see that kayak from 1.5 miles away, all the way across the lake. And that's really kind of why I do it. It's a safety reason. Plus it's cool.
That's right.
And I'm a cool guy. Yeah. But it's really, the amazing thing to me is that I have this little battery in there.
Right.
It's not a big battery. It's a kayak. I don't have a big car battery in there. I've got a little battery. And that little battery will run those strip lights, those LED lights, and a fish finder 8 hours, 10 hours without any problem at all. And that's what I love about LED. It doesn't use any energy at all. I love it also because of the flexibility of where you can put them. And those are waterproof lights. That's a cool thing about LED too. We're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about LEDs. And in a little bit, we're going to talk about outside lighting with LEDs. That's going to be a whole nother discussion. You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I'm here with Jon Sayah, Ben Parra, with Lights Fantastic. It's fantastic. Don't go away. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordoor.com.
You have to sell your gorgeous but suddenly unaffordable house. Now, who will buy it? These guys buy. You have to sell your mom and dad's old run-down house. Now, who will buy it? These guys buy. You have to sell your crazy Aunt Zelda's house. You know, the one with all the cats. These guys buy. Taj Mahal? These guys buy. Old musty dump? These guys buy. Just plain ugly? These guys buy. Sell your property now. As is. No fees, no repairs, no waiting. TheseGuysBuy.com. TheseGuysBuy.com. TheseGuysBuy.com.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
Larson around the outside. Hamlin picks up a big push.
NASCAR's best motor into Michigan.
Chase Elliott underneath him for second. Joey Logano underneath him for third.
Driven to seize supremacy.
Kyle Larson, he's got that Chevrolet out front.
The Firekeepers Casino 400.
Chase, looking for his first career win, will not give up.
Sunday at noon on the Motor Racing Network.
Don't miss the Firekeepers 400. Tomorrow at noon, only on 1160 AM KBDT.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Talking LED lights. Kind of interesting, actually. I never knew LEDs could be this interesting. Well, I did. That's why I invited you guys here. You guys are awesome. So when you're doing an LED fixture, the question came up for me when I was doing my research. So you're in this old southern kind of mansion, and you've got this big chandelier hanging off the ceiling that's got all the little cool little lamps in it, which kind of makes it what it is.
That's right.
Right? Can we use an LED light, or do we have to just go back to traditional lights for that kind of thing?
No, it's really remarkable what's happened is we can mimic virtually any light bulb that we're used to, an incandescent, and we can now mimic that look in LED.
Huh.
So you get that great energy efficiency story, where we're using a 3 or 4 watt bulb when we used a 40 or a 60 watt bulb, producing the same amount of light and that same nice warm color that we liked so much in that traditional chandelier.
Mm-hmm. So you have the other thing that started out an issue with LEDs was that you had to have a transformer with every one of them. I mean, it was a real problem. And I know I did a kitchen early on with them, and we converted the whole kitchen. And I was like, yeah, I can convert your whole kitchen to LED. And then I've got the electrician in there. He's like, well, where am I going to stuff this transformer? Where am I going to stuff? But now a lot of the light bulbs have it built into the base.
Right, exactly. They've made the drive or transformer so small that it can be integrated into the LED circuit board. And again, the cool thing about LED now is that it really is a digital medium. Unlike a light bulb that has a filament, LED is digital. And so that's what also paves the way for all this smart lighting, because you have the digital nature that you can now control in many different ways. But as Ben said, they have figured out how to duplicate the filament look in LED. So one of the most popular trends right now is all of the filament light bulbs that they're making in LED. So you can convert that chandelier to LED and make it look even more authentic than it looked with the incandescent.
I saw one the other day. It looked like a gas flame.
Yes.
Literally looked like a gas flame.
Yes, we saw that.
thing that I am so impressed with LED is it's virtually limitless because it's digital.
Exactly.
Right? It's not just some current. It's not, you're not having to actually build something. You're programming something. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a digital technology.
And so you can do, and that's what, makes it so exciting. Every day now there's new inventions, new products that are coming out. And, we've really made it a key tenet for Lights Fantastic to try to show the latest that's out there. So every day, we got a lot of customers who come into our store on Greenville or Ben's store and on the Sam Rayburn near Nebraska Furniture that shows the latest in lighting. And we really try to stay current with all the latest technology.
And because it's digital, it's not hot. So you don't have a heat aspect to an LED light.
Yeah, that's right. There is a little bit of heat just by the nature of the fixture. It's like a television or a computer. There's going to be a little bit of heat, but the key to good.
But it's not like an incandescent.
No, it's nothing like an incandescent or a halide light source that we're used to. The key to a good LED is how you actually dissipate that heat, so the LED lasts longer. And that's a really good way actually to tell a good LED versus a bad LED. A quality manufacturer versus a substandard manufacturer.
That's interesting. So how do you get it out of the?
That's right.
Okay. So what happened to compact fluorescent? Are people still using it?
Compact fluorescent was really the first casualty of LED. People hated that they blinked before they came on, that the color wasn't quite good. So they have, there's still a little bit of people using incandescent as those run out, but compact fluorescent, really died a very quick death.
It didn't last long, did it?
About a year ago, you can't give them away now.
Especially when someone put them in the wrong setting and tried to put them on a dimmer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've walked into several houses and they'll go, all of my lights are blinking. You can't use that light there. It's not going to work, and they're really not very environmentally friendly.
That's correct.
Well, you can't throw them away. So I've never, I was a fan of them when it was really all we had. There was a time when LED was too expensive and incandescent was really not as available. There's that kind of gray area, that conversion area, but then the LED, boy, just getting it to where it's affordable has been a huge deal. So outside lighting is being really altered with LED as well. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you have sort of a lot of advantages in outdoor lighting, and one is solar lighting.
Sure, absolutely, because it's the nature of the LED is it's so low power that we can now power that fixture through solar. You do have to be careful because, again, this goes back to the quality issue. There's a lot of solar out there, and a lot of it is not very good.
Right.
So you got to be very, very
so
careful.
If you buy the little $3 thing you stick down in the yard and you're like, oh, that looks kind of cool.
That's right.
But it's not going to last very long.
That's correct. It's a $3. It's a $3 light.
Right.
It is what it is.
But the cool thing about the solar, like security light, if you get a good quality one,
sure,
and they're not that expensive, $20. It's a heck of a light with a lot of options. It can be a motion sensor. It can be a light sensor, all kinds of things. So a photocell,
right.
Thank you. And they're not bad looking. They're easy to put up.
Sure.
And I've had them last, pretty long time, longer than I thought when they're exposed to weather.
Right. Well, it's what you said for your kayak now. Because of the low energy level, you can get a small battery, or in this case, solar energy, and power these lights. And so it's changing the way people are looking at where they can put light, how they can use light. And so obviously outdoor, where it's been a problem for how difficult it is to wire something to a certain space, is you can now do it with solar and put light in places that you haven't put it before and add a tremendous amount of safety and security.
Well, and we're a lot more conscious now of light, of up light. We're wanting what's called night sky lighting, so that we don't have the light. We're trying not to illuminate everything up. We're trying to keep the night sky dark.
Right. Tremendous amount of focus on getting rid of that light pollution.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are asked all the time, do we have components that can shield the backlight, the uplight? And now there's a lot of regulation that you can't have anything but what they call night sky type lighting.
Well, and I'm glad. Because I like the stars,
absolutely.
I like the stars, and it's really got to a point for a while where, now I was on a little private plane, and I know you could still do it, but I was on a little plane and I was up like by the Panhandle or somewhere we're flying, but you could see Wichita Falls, Fort Worth, Dallas, maybe even Austin. It was amazing how much light comes up. You don't realize until you're up in the sky and you're looking the right direction.
Well, with incandescent and fluorescent light, normally the light is 360 degrees, whereas LED is a more directional source. So it's a lot easier to control it and keep it from polluting.
Sort of goes the way it's pointed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so like we keep referring back to the little ones I have on my kayak. Those little lights are, that's specifically one of the things that I love about them, is the way that I have them pointed where they don't disturb my eyes. And actually, when you put them on, that's one of the things that goes into consideration of them, where you place them. So that's interesting. So pathway lighting used to be a real problem because you had cords strung everywhere. It was like if you didn't walk in the right place, you were going to trip. But now, is there quality pathway lighting with LEDs? Instead of buying these just cheap little things, is this something you all sell? Are you into that market?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It goes back to that quality issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot out there and there's a lot that's not very good. So you got to tread very carefully.
Yeah. I just put on my house the size of a dime really, and it has a little hood over it. So you don't get, again, a lot of that night light. You just get a little bit of light that highlights the steps for the path to our front door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 1 watt a piece, and it just lights so you see the direction that you're going and that you're finding the path.
Now your house looks like a spaceship at night. Sometimes the neighbors always know when you're home.
That's right. We like to have, we like it. We see a lot of great homes now in Dallas and other places, but at night they're dark.
Mm-hmm.
And, both for safety, security, and aesthetics, there's some great things that you can do. Ben just completed a home where he put some LED colored lights that you can see through the front windows, and it's a beautiful display. So now the house is not only well lit at night, but it uses less than 15 watts. So it's not, we're not using a lot of energy, but creating a really nice aesthetic environment and adding safety.
So I want to spend a few minutes as we're burning this clock up. I want to talk about some of these light fixtures that you have in your house that I was fascinated by. And some of it was almost traditional, like trough lighting that we've used, but you used LED instead of fluorescent, which makes it so much better, because the old fluorescent lighting just looked dirty. I never liked it. But the way you were able to integrate the LED lighting in there, it's a clean LED's like a crystal light if you want it to be.
Right. And what's great is because you're not now sort of subject to the size of a fluorescent tube,
mm-hmm.
LED is very small. So what we have a lot in our house is these linear channels that are less than 1 inch wide and almost like a line of light. So it's almost like underlining in school, where you can now underline and sort of say, look here.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't have done that with fluorescent because the fixture's got to be so big that it is not as inconspicuous. Now we can have this little 1 inch light that can go 50 feet long down a hallway, and instead of having 6 inch cans all the way down the hallway, you can have this little line of light that is 1 inch by 50
and
feet.
an incredibly intense light if you want it to be. I mean,
Right.
it can
you
be.
need to be able to dim it.
Yeah, no, you do. I just put 2 of them up, 2 LED light strips up in a bathroom, and I did not know really how bright I had no idea how bright they were. And the homeowner he's like, well, I want a dimmer. Well, we didn't have a dimmer. So I told the electrician, just put it in, put a switch in. Who cares? Well, after the guy was having to wear sunglasses for shade, to shave. And so we ended up, of course, putting a dimmer in. But they're super, super bright. You have to dim them.
Well, that's the thing we learned first when we started selling a lot of LED lights is people are used to, I want a 60-watt light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said, I want a 60-watt LED. Well, a 60-watt LED is very bright.
Mm-hmm.
So you need, the equivalent is about 8 to 10 watts. And so, that's what our salespeople really understand, the difference between LED and incandescent, and help the customers.
And that's what makes them so energy efficient, though.
Exactly.
You're getting the same light for such less wattage,
Right.
which is what uses your power, right?
Right. The other important component what you're speaking about is dimming them. And since it is now an electronic platform, they take some special dimmers to be able to dim these things.
Right.
And again, that comes back to having the proper sales staff to be educated and to teach your customer what the right dimmer is.
Mm-hmm. So you can't just use a regular dimmer.
It depends. Sometimes yes, but sometimes no.
I hate science. I never have. I just was never really good at it. I could grow a sweet potato in a glass. That's about as far as I got with science. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more LED lights. You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Don't go away. We still have a prize. No one's going to get it, though. They don't call. 214-810-8255. You only have one shot left. Don't go away. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordoor.com.
1160 AM KBDT proudly presents this historic salute to Grapevine, Texas. Brought to you by Grapevine Power Sports. In 1889, the J.E. Faust store opens on Main Street. It's now Grapevine's oldest remaining brick building. Eggs sell for 10 cents per dozen. Butter is 20 cents per pound. And chickens are $2.50 a dozen.
I'm Aaron McWhirter with Grapevine Power Sports. When I bought the dealership, I came in to buy a four-wheeler. They were a freestanding Kawasaki dealership. And I said, Dennis, I don't mean to pry. Are you interested in selling this place? And he said, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but we're fixing to put it on the market. And I said, Dennis, I'll take it. In the last 3 years, we've done 60% increase. The mayor's a customer of mine. The city manager is a customer of mine. A lot of friends that live here still. The small town feel right in the middle of the big metroplex.
Grapevine, Texas, a world festival and event city. Find out more about Grapevine by going to www.grapevinetexas.gov. Step back in time. Visit historic Grapevine, Texas today.
When I say Italy, what comes to mind?
Venice. Capri. Oh my gosh, Capri was marvelous.
The views, the cliffside views, or traveling to Sorrento. Parrello tours.
Oh, Parrello tours, for sure.
Parrello.
Hi, I'm Steve Parrillo of Parrillo Tours. With over 70 years of tour experience to Italy, it's no wonder Parrillo Tours is synonymous with travel to Italy.
I think of the culture.
And to walk up to certain areas and touch a wall and think, well, this wall's like 3,000 years old.
Being on a Parrillo tour on our anniversary was better than anything I can remember ever on an anniversary.
I personally approve every itinerary to ensure a stress-free, once-in-a-lifetime vacation.
Salute! Call now for your free insider's guide to Parrillo's Italy. Call in the next 30 minutes and qualify for a $100 gift card when you travel with us. Call 800-547-6018. 800-547-6018. 800-547-6018.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I'm here with Jon Sayah, Ben Parra. Talking LEDs. Light-emitting diodes. It sounds so serious when you say it that way. Sounds like you got to be smart to own a light. Or like a TV repair guy. You had a light that I was fascinated with, and I bet every builder in Dallas is that sees them, and it's this little bitty, about the size of a dime, light that goes up in the ceiling. What do you call those things?
We call them
little bitty light size of a dime.
I call them dots. I call them little dots.
Okay, yeah.
And so, the big conventional light has been the 6-inch recessed can.
Right.
And our goal was to try to do something different, take advantage of the small size of the LED diode. And these are only 2 watts. And they give, again, the light of about a 40 watt. And the fun part is to sort of mass them out. So you'll see them usually used in multiples, 2s or 3s or 4s or a line of light. And they're great.
They're about the size of the end of a Marks-a-Lot.
Yep.
And when you look up at the ceiling, you just see a black dot. And it's actually a LED light. And you could actually, there's so many different ways you could use those things. And they're really, really, really cool. And then you have, of course, the normal things, the slot lights and all kinds of, you had picture lights. You have lights that go up in little canisters that slide up in the ceiling. And it's all because you can take this little LED and you can miniaturize it. And all of the little, you don't have to have this big giant light bulb.
Exactly. The designers of lighting can design almost anything now, any kind of organic shapes, any kind of small shapes, utilizing these small LED diodes. So it's opened up a whole new business in really how you can add a new dimension to your home or space with lighting.
So one quick thing is the lighting control systems. Now, if you did a whole house, can you wire all this up to one lighting control system and operate the whole house?
Yeah, there's still systems. Lutron makes a system. Legrand, several people make systems that make it very easy. I can control my house now with my phone, with an app on the phone. You can dim it. You can do lots of different things. It's a lot easier in a major remodel or new construction now,
because you got to wire it. Yeah. So how do people get in touch with you, and where do they go?
Yeah, so we have 2 locations in Dallas. Light's Fantastic on Greenville Avenue near University. It's been one of our original showrooms. And then Ben runs our Lights Fantastic Pro, where we focus on projects. We work with architects, designers, and Lights Fantastic Pro is on the Sam Rayburn Tollway in Louisville, just west of Nebraska Furniture.
And Ben?
Yeah.
How do they get you, buddy?
They can call me.
Okay.
They can email me.
You want to give them your number?
You bet. Call the store. You can come up. It's quite an experience to come into that store. We've really made it kind of an LED gallery and playground. To really show people what's possible.
Well, you'll have to invite me up for lunch, and I'll come and see it.
Anytime.
You know, I mean, John already did. I don't know what you're waiting on.
Come on up.
How do they get you?
Call me at 469-568-1111. You can go to our websites also, lightsfantasticpro.com or lightsfantastic.com.
I really appreciate you guys coming. It's really been a fascinating discussion. It's been really awesome. Next week's show, I'm going to have Steve Lawton. We're going to talk about air conditioning. That's kind of timely right now. We're around 100 degrees every day, give or take. Technically, we're not, but if you're outside, it sure feels like it. Also, we're going to have Travis Gates. He's with ABC Pest and Termite because it's a pesty time of year. Contact me at www.yourhomeshow.net. If you have any questions, you can go to info@yourhomeshow.net and send me a question. Also, check out that website. It's got my scheduled upcoming shows. Also, my blog has got some incredibly valuable information on it. I'm sure I'll put something else on it this week. Also, check out my Facebook page at Your Home with Alex Guthrie on Facebook, and you can always see our shows. And this show, and along with all our other shows, are on there. You can catch them on the video portion of that. Thank you, Mr. Phil Brown. Thank you, Jon Sayah, Ben Parra, Jeremy Blackwell. Thank you to my crack research team, Mrs. Guthrie. Thanks to our sponsors. Most of all, thank you to our listeners and our Facebook friends. We appreciate everybody that came on and listened in today. I have a quote from Britt Hume I thought was pretty amazing. Everyone you know is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind to them. We've experienced that way too much this week. And from me, be kind to a stranger. They can change their life. Be nice to somebody. We all need it. Until next week, this is Alex Guthrie signing off. Have a fantastic weekend. And thanks, everybody. We'll look forward to the next show.